the Gould Mine podcast.
So I mentioned a million doctors, a million of us in the U.S. Now, if a million of those physicians could practice the medicine the way they want to practice medicine, healthcare would be so much better. You can to fully commit yourself to a patient to whatever your medicine subspecialty is, and to practice that kind of with a full 100% giving is a beautiful thing. It's really what I enjoy about being a doctor. And as I've grown my business, I've only learned to love it even more. So I agree with everything you're saying.
So let's get into the business a little bit, right? So you decided, okay, I'm gonna start doing this real estate thing. What inspired that? Like where did that kind of like idea pop into your head, and when was it?
So yeah, sure. So it's definitely in my head before I actually did anything about it, right? As everyone, right. I'm sure most of your guests say the same thing. So, I saw real estate exploding around me. Like, my wife and I, we lived in New York City. I was doing my fellowship, and we saw, now it's pennies, but back then we saw property values go up extremely high. And I remember I have some family in New York City, and I was like, what's going on? This is nuts. And I remember when my uncle told me, you know what, you need to buy an apartment. No, you need to buy in a building. And I thought it was crazy. Buys a building. Who buys a building? And then he's like, you can do it. You can really do it. Now that I know what I know, heck yeah, I wish I would have done that, so many years ago. But I remember talking to my dad, and my dad is like, no, it's risky. You don't make money. You have to stay in it forever and all this kind of stuff. And I didn't push back. I didn't question.
Yeah.
And then from New York City, we went to Southern California, and same thing. You see prices exploding. That's just been the history of real estate everywhere I've lived. And it was tangible, and you could taste it. But again, I was a little bit nervous. I didn't know what to do or how to do it. And then I had an opportunity to be an LP. And so then I invested in a deal, which I'm still part of. And it's kind of exciting. Now I get 30% tax-free returns for the rest of my life. It was a tiny amount of money, but the concept really hit home. So I started doing LP investing decades ago. And then I still wanted to own stuff. I still wanted to be active, but I was still nervous. I'm a doctor. Like, what the heck do I know about it?
Yeah.
Like, again, I was within that closed mindset. And again, you've heard this from all your listeners. And then so I got involved in more LP deals. And I remember I did this deal where I invested money, and I forgot how long this was, the last maybe 5 years or something. And then we had a trip planned somewhere out of the country, and I got an email or a call, and they said, hey, we're going to exit. I'm like, great. I knew it. I lost my money. Like, it was dumb for me to throw some money in this. And what they meant is they got incredible returns. Like in a year and a half, 2 years, I got something like 80% return. And I was blown away. Like with that check, they're like, okay, do you want to wire it in? I'm like, no, I want to see that check.
Yeah.
I've never seen that much money. So they sent me a paper check. I'm like, check that out. And then I started doing stupid stuff. Then I started investing in private companies, which just went, downhill. I'm like, what the heck am I doing? And so finally, my wife and I were like, okay. And my wife's family had been involved in single family real estate. They had some small multis. So she's like, let's just do it. And then we bought a duplex. This is all Southern California. Bought a duplex. I saw a garage in the back. I converted it to a triplex. Woodbury construction, active military person with their VA loan came and said, hey, I want to buy that from you. Sold it, and then exchanged up into a triplex and a fourplex. Again, this is LA and Orange County. So prices go up, high. So we're doing well, but I just wanted to go bigger, and I wanted to kind of share this with other people. So I exited all the small multifamily, and then I started syndicating, and then we started going bigger. So then we did 18 units in LA. And then I joined a group, and we did 300 units in Atlanta. And then I met my partners, and we formed Titan 3 Capital. Now we do big projects. We're developing around UPenn and Philadelphia, and we're looking at much bigger deals than we ever did. But it was like everyone. you kind of think about it. You see things going on around you. You're a little bit curious. You're a little bit scared. And then until you actually get into it and start feeling it and recognizing it all along the way and listening to, I'm a doctor, so I have to read every single book. I have to listen to 7,000 hours of podcasts. I have to do every single analysis that you can. It's just the way we think. And until I started actually investing and I felt it, then it was really tangible. And then I took off.
And actually, a lot of the guests that I've had on this show that are syndicators or fund managers, like a lot of them do get their start as LPs. And so I'm curious, for the average physician, right? Because you obviously have taken it to the next level, but like who should be doing the active investing, sponsorship GP versus who should just like be a passive investor? Like, do you recommend everyone start with as an LP, in your field, or can they just skip directly to sponsorship? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think you can do. You have people who kind of dip their toe in the water, and people who jump off the platform value. To get into the pool. So everyone is different. I can't say one size fits all. I mean, I definitely see the advantage of being an LP investor where there's really no work, right? And you get into deals that you can't touch. You can't, on your own, you can't buy those deals. You don't have access to that. You don't have access to the capital. You don't have access to the infrastructure in the professional network. So, I mean, for a lot of people, I think LPs is a great way to go. Some people like to get their hands dirty and be active. That's kind of how I am. So I would say it's a personality thing. I don't think one way is worse than the other. I think you just have to learn about each of them and then try. And there's a lot of people who accidentally get into it, right? Yeah. They've had, maybe they had a condo during residencies and they kept it, or there's just a property that just got handed down to them or whatever. And then they're just kind of accidentally into it. And then they just kind of learn what they like and they don't like. I mean, one advantage I have from kind of coming work from where I did is I get a feeling of the things I like. I get a feeling of things that I don't like. I understand what my expertise is. And when it came to my partners coming together, there's 3 of us, we ended up having complementary skill sets that makes our company even better. I would not have known that 10 years ago. I would not have known what to look for. But to answer your question, I don't know if it's better to do an active or a passive. And I talked, when I mentored people, I talked to them about both. I try to tease through with them to see what their interests are and help them get to that place.
By the way, for anyone who's listening to this show, how can they find, and we'll include any links or whatever like in the show notes, but how can they find more information on the mentorship program that you run? Yeah.
So I don't run a mentorship program. It's just part of my thought leadership platform. Okay. And then it's talk. So I'm not a coach, but the best way is to go to my website and also follow me on LinkedIn. So we're at Titan 3 Capital, Titan3capital.com. And then you can connect with me or my partners and see our deals. Also on LinkedIn every day. And then that's Sanjay Sharma, MD.
Awesome.